If you want to know how to solve the meaning and effect questions in O-Level English, this video is for you. Hey there everyone, in this video, I am about to tell you how to solve this question from paper 2, the proper way. So let's start. First of all, let me tell you how to solve the meaning part. In simple words, this part requires you to write down the factual meaning of the phrase. You simply define the sentence that you are given. So in this part, just write the literal meaning of the phrase. Moving on to the effect part, you simply have to tell what impact the writer wants to create. Therefore, you have to write the symbolic meaning, which will indicate what outcome the writer wants to create. If you are confused, do not worry. Because, moving on to the effect part, so in this part, I'm the sentence. First of all, let me tell you how to solve the meaning part. In simple words, this part requires you to write down the factual meaning of the phrase. You simply define the sentence that you are given. So in this part, just write the literal meaning of the phrase. Moving on to the effect part, you simply have to tell what impact the writer wants to create. Therefore, you have to write the symbolic meaning, which will indicate what outcome the writer wants to create. If you are confused, do not worry. Because I am about to share with you some examples, which will help you understand this topic. So what you have to do is, read the paragraph on the screen in front of you. Then, we will discuss the answer to their questions. This is the first example. Pause the video and read it. Remember to focus on the highlighted part. Now, this is the question related to that paragraph. This first part says, fastening the brown buttons, won by decisive one. If we simply look at what this means, we will say that she buttoned up her coat. Because that is what this phrase means. Moving on to the effect, we can simply say that this action shows her determination of doing something. To understand the background completely, I advise you to read the complete comprehension. You will find the details in the description below. Moving on to the second part, it says, my shoes scuffed, always scuffed no matter how often they were polished. If we take a look at its meaning, it means that her shoes were always damaged. Moreover, the effect the writer wants to create is that he shows how untidy she was. Let's practice some other examples. Read the paragraph, and do not forget to focus on the highlighted part. The question says, burying my face in their softness, there never walked on pause. Let me tell you that this passage is about kittens. So if we look at the meaning, this means that she petted her kittens by putting her face in their fur. If we look at what impact the writer wants to create, we can say that this shows her joy and love for the kittens. This is the second part of the same question. Do give it a read. The question says, we would be transported back to that moment in childhood. From the passage, we can say that they remember being with their kittens as they were born. From this, the writer shows how happy they were when their kittens were born. This is what was required in the effect part. Moving on to the third example, do pause the video and read it. Before talking about the question, note that this passage is related to someone stealing something. The first part says, they will take all my pretty things away, and then they will take me away. This simply means that all her stolen items would be taken and finally, she would be arrested as well. The purpose of this phrase is to create sympathy for her. Or you can say that it creates a sad effect. The second part says, I wonder if it was there in the first place or did I dream the whole thing up? I said to myself. Now, this phrase means that she thinks that she might be imagining things. We can say this because of the use of the word dream. From this, we can say that the writer wants to show that she was trying to know what happened. Or she was understanding the previous events. Again, I recommended you read the complete passage to understand this in a better way. You can find the details in the description. With this, let's move on to example number 4. Read the passage in front of you. And take a look at the highlighted part as well. The question says, he fixed me with an intense stare. If we take a look at its literal meaning, it means that he was looking very deeply, or with intense focus. Now this staring with intense focus shows that the message was important. You can also say that the writer wants to stress the seriousness of the situation. Before moving on to the second part, to read the passage above. The question says, we would saunter off down the path. The literal meaning of this phrase is that they walk slowly in a relaxed manner. This relaxed movement, in terms of the effect, shows they are pretending to be leaving. Similarly, you can say that they are trying to show that they are going away. This is the fifth and the last example. Do pause the video and give it a read as well. The question says, "The closed door of her parents' bedroom creaked open ominously." This phrase shows that the door opened slowly and mysteriously. Now, this opening of the door is used by the writer to create a scary effect and to build tension and suspense with the words such as ominously. For the second part of this question, read the passage above. Moving on to the question that says, oblivious of his sister's mood, James rattled onto her about the runs he had scored in the cricket match at school. We can say that this means James was unaware of his sister's mood or feelings, because the part that says oblivious of his sister's mood show this. Note that oblivious means unaware. Now, this can be seen in two different ways. First, it shows that James talked a lot. Or you can also say that Emma was not interested in listening to him. Either way, you'll be getting a mark. With this, it is time to move on to the next part, which is what the examiner says about this question. This is a part of the examiner report that clearly says, give the literal meaning in the meaning part, and then comment on the effect, or the impact writer wants to create.